Be sure to support the n.W.bro podcast by hitting the like button on this video, as well as subscribing to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/n.w.bro podcast and on Twitter, username n.w.bro podcast. Thank you for your support.
Hey everybody, this is Ian.
And I'm Rhett.
And this is the n.w.bro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome everybody, thank you for joining us on this week's edition of the n.w.bro Wrestling Podcast as we record this on April 20th, 2017. Silent your fucking phone.
Yeah, I know.
Very, very unprofessional.
I know you.
Not very good. What can you do?
Yeah.
Besides silent your fucking phone.
Yeah, okay.
So, not a whole lot going on this week, so it's basically just going to be a recap of Raw and Smackdown. So, I was going to start plugging, like, social media stuff right here, like, right before we actually get started into the episode, but as our YouTube viewers would have seen by now, I've actually made a little, like, intro, kind of like telling you to go subscribe to our stuff and whatnot, so I'm going to start plugging that into the beginning of our videos. As far as the audio version, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, so if you're listening to the MP3 of this, you're probably confused, but hey, just whatever, you know, just gotta fill in part of the audience on what's going on. But regardless of how you're listening, whether it's MP3, YouTube, that's pretty much your only two options at the moment. Thank you for joining us. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started into Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw.
There you
I went stupid there for a second. So anyway, on Monday Night Raw, the show kicks off with Braun Strowman coming out to a pretty large pop. Based off his actions last week against Roman Reigns, where he essentially broke his spinal cord in every possible spot it could be broken in, which he's been confirmed to be back by Payback. So, you know, good for him. But, so he comes out, grabs the microphone, and basically says that he is proud of all the destruction and injury that he caused Roman Reigns last week, and he will not be here tonight, to which he gets another just resounding pop from the crowd. So that brings out Kurt Angle, basically saying that his ass Braun deserves to be suspended over his actions last week. So any hope of having a match tonight was out of the question, and to consider the night off. Kind of a little bit of a face off where Braun said, you know, hey, you saw how well that worked out for Mick Foley. God, I'm stupid tonight. Saw how well that worked out for Mick Foley, and he better get some better competition or else. Kurt replies, or else what? And Braun walks off. So, hey, by the way, that kind of reminds me, speaking of Braun, something I thought about is, you know, he's being played up as this monster among men where he just walks around and just kicks everybody's ass.
Yeah.
So, why did he walk away from Lesnar a couple of weeks ago when he got in his face? Would that not have, like, played more into his character if he just whooped Lesnar's ass?
Yeah, but I don't think he could.
I mean, probably not, but I mean, him being right in Lesnar's grill, getting his attention, and then just walking away when Lesnar throws down the challenge kind of goes against his gimmick right now.
I feel you, but at the same time, like I mean, I feel you, and this isn't necessarily answer your question, but I feel like what they're going for there is the whole, like, I've got to deal with Roman Reigns first, but then I'm coming after you type thing. Like,
yeah, I get that, but
yeah,
with the way Braun's being booked, and of course, you know, story writing and all that sort of stuff would have made, you know, they're building this up for a feud later down the road. I get that. But I'm just saying, with the way he's being booked, he should have just came out and started just beating on Lesnar without saying a word. And then grab the mic and be like, Angle, need more competition. But, either way, that's just something I thought about I was going to bring up. So, yeah. So Kurt tells him to take the night off. Braun walks away, more or less. So, that leads into Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho with Seth Rollins on commentary. Not a whole lot to say about this. I mean, it was a pretty decent wrestling match, all things considered, but I mean, you knew from the get-go Samoa Joe was going to go over in that one.
Yeah.
Don't know what I thought about Seth Rollins being on commentary. I mean, I get it, but it just... I don't know. It's just weird. I didn't really care for it myself, but of course it led into like a little bit of a stare off right there at the end of the match between the two of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, Jericho gave Joe a pretty good fight. I know what it was. It's because he said in 2 weeks, Rollins said to Samoa Joe, in 2 weeks, Payback is a bitch. And, like, that's just, like, the most cliche thing you can say right there. I don't know. I don't like this whole, like, when Seth Rollins tries to be snarky, like, clever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the sparkle crotch thing he did with Jericho, and it's just awful, in my opinion.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. It can be it's almost like dad humor or something, but like
it's cringeworthy to me.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, I don't know. I don't hate it. It's his thing.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins at Payback. I don't guess we're going to do any kind of prediction. Well, we're not. We'll wait till we get later. We'll later on down the road to the go home show or something before we do predictions. So, excuse me. Had another Drifter cameo here when Anderson and Gallows are walking through the backstage and they pass by the Drifter, just sitting there, just strumming his guitar. Which then breaks to the Golden Truth getting ready to take on the Club in a tag team match, which that got canceled after Braun Strowman just...
I was really looking forward to it, too.
What, seeing Golden Truth?
Yeah.
Like in action?
Yeah.
Well, because we hadn't seen him on TV in
8 years.
a few months, it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't see that tag team winning any gold anytime soon.
They are gold.
I get that. But as far as the title belts, I don't see them putting the straps on the Golden Truth anytime soon. But, I like Goldust. I like R-Truth more, and that kind of goes back to actually what little I watched of TNA back in the day when he was Ron Killings.
Yeah. I
liked his character in TNA way more than his character in WWE since he's been back. Because in TNA, he was a lot more serious. I mean, hell, he was the NWA champion at one point in TNA. And then since he's been back to WWE, he had that horrible main event run with Cena back in 2011, I think it was, at that Capital Punishment pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's just been a comedy act.
Like coming out to the match thinking it's a different type of match and all that stuff.
Little Jimmy, the invisible friend or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I like R-Truth. I wish he was booked better, but I guess this is him, because this is the way he's being booked now is the way he's been booked since he's been back to WWE, so for like the past 8 or 9 years or so. So I guess this is it, but we didn't see him in action on this night because they savagely got attacked by Braun Strowman, with Braun saying, he said that he had made the warning that he was going to take out everyone, so he started with the Golden Truth. And then later on we see him dragging Kalisto by the ankle, but we'll get to that momentarily. So instead of Golden Truth, we have Enzo and Cass come out. No big surprise, they actually, Enzo gets pinned. They actually lost cleanly. Oh, when are we going to see an Enzo and Cass push?
Not until they break up at least once.
It really feels like the biggest push they've had is when Cass was in the Fatal 4-Way for the Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Other than that, and Enzo's always the one getting pinned.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think what they need is I think they do need to break up for a while. I think they need to break up because of because of that. Him being like, look, you're always pulling me down, whatever. Yeah. And Enzo needs to get like a singles thing going for a little while, and he actually needs to start winning a little,
build up some confidence.
Yeah, and then they can join back together and maybe get a couple big wins.
Confidence wasn't the right word. Momentum, maybe, because Enzo is confident. He's always confident, but he's always getting his ass whooped at the same time. So,
yep.
I don't know. I really like Enzo and Cass. I want to see them do good things. I want to see them win a title because they have yet to win tag team titles since they've going back as far as NXT. But it doesn't appear like that's going to be the case, especially with the Revival now on the main roster, which they're hurt. They'll be out for a few weeks. But now that they're on the main roster, you can't help but think they're the next up in line to win the tag team titles at some point. So, I don't know. Maybe it would have benefited Enzo and Cass if they got moved over to SmackDown during the
I think it would have. I think that would have been good for them. But
oh well, what's done is done now. So that then leads into a Miz TV special with special guest Dean Ambrose. It generally went about as same way you thought it would. They're kind of jabbering back and forth at each other, and it ends with Dean hitting the dirty deeds on Miz. So I think he hit the dirty deeds. Did he hit the dirty deeds? I know he beat the shit out of the Miz because he tossed his coat to Maurice and then just started beating the shit out of Miz. Yeah, because Miz went for the.
Well, he didn't actually hit the dirty deeds. Yeah, Miz got out of it.
Oh, okay, that's what happened. Okay, that's what happened. I'm gonna tell you my problem with this feud is you've got two former SmackDown superstars fighting over a former SmackDown title.
Yeah.
Now, like this feels like
it's just a SmackDown rivalry. Like
it feels like it's a feud they brought right over from SmackDown.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought part of the superstar shakeup was the fact that you're getting the roster mixed around, and you're getting to see superstars face off against other superstars that you haven't that you haven't been able to see over the past year.
Yeah.
But this rivalry, this feud that's going on right now, came straight out of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see then when you think about it, who would either one of them really feud with right now if they weren't feuding with each other?
I think you'd have to move a few of the different rivalries around to make it work, but I don't know.
I mean, I guess maybe this was the best option right now. It's just to put them back in a... It just feels like we've seen this. Did they feud during the SmackDown Live run?
I think so. Isn't that... Who did Ambrose get the title from?
Let's see. Okay, so Miz had the title for most of the year. Dolph had it at one point, kind of briefly. And
Yeah, I think he got it from Dolph.
Did he get it from...
I think he got it from Dolph. Okay, so...
No. Dolph lost it back to Miz.
Okay.
So Miz had it after the Dolph run.
I guess
but did he get it from Miz?
I guess he did. I can't remember.
Either way, it's not... Maybe this is the best they had on the table at the moment, because there are some injuries like Rusev and he got to move to SmackDown.
So yeah, he ain't in there. Yeah, I feel the same.
I guess with everybody else being involved with their own stories and stuff right now, this was the best you could do. But I was really hoping to see something more fresh coming out of the Superstar Shakeup rather than just the same superstars going at it. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's been confirmed. Now you're having Dean Ambrose and the Miz. And the Miz for the Intercontinental title at Payback. So after all that, we are now led to a cruiserweight match between T.J. Perkins, Jack Gallagher. It's
both Aries and Neville were involved.
Oh yeah, because Neville was sitting ringside to begin with, and Aries came out right before and then sat next to him.
And it went about the way you'd expect it to. I mean, I like Gentleman Jack, but he's not in the main picture right now for the cruiserweights. And
I mean, the story here is T.J. Perkins' heel turn.
Yeah.
And him. And now it seems like he's trying to, impress Neville. Like he did this heel turn because he bought into what Neville was telling him last week. And now he's out there trying to, get Neville's approval for what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of odd because, I know Neville's, the king of the cruiserweights, or so he says. But you got T.J. Perkins, who was the first cruiserweight champion since they revived it. So if I was T.J. Perkins, I would almost think we were on the same level.
Yeah.
But no, he's kind of like Neville's understudy sort of. So I don't know. Real curious. It's still way too early to see where this is going to go. I mean, T.J. Perkins needed a fresh story, something not a redo, but a reboot of sorts. So him going heel is not a bad way to go. You got to give him different music though. Coming out to that 16-bit poppy
thing,
upbeat retro video game music does not fit his character.
Yeah, just let him come out to One Winged Angel.
I mean, you could do something similar to that. Kind of like Omega, Kenny Omega's theme song in New Japan is obviously very inspired by One Winged Angel, but it's not at all the same thing.
Yeah.
But very similar. You could do something similar to that with T.J. Perkins. I mean, Neville, he changed his music whenever he became heel. It's still the same music, but it's got this dark intro to it now before it leads into the techno-sounding thing that he does.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have so this happened, a little bit of intensity between Aries and Neville. Of course, Perkins wins that match. So, after that, let's see. Oh yeah, Apollo Crews finally made an appearance on Monday Night Raw. He's back there getting hyped up by Akira Tozawa about being on Raw, and then get interrupted by Titus O'Neil, who is basically saying, trying to bring Crews onto the Titus brand, as he's been promoting over the past year or more.
Yeah.
There was never a real answer as to whether Titus would do this or not. I'm for it.
Yeah.
I think he should, because Titus O'Neil has been pushing this Titus brand thing for like I said, a year, maybe more than a year, and he's pitched it to several different superstars and several different people, and no one's bid on it yet. It's just been like this imaginary thing that he's been just throwing around. But both him and Apollo Crews need a breath of fresh air, and that could lead to a new tag team.
Yeah,
and I could dig that. Like if Apollo Crews goes in with it, Titus is doing what he can to make Apollo look good. They do some tag team matches. They're both on TV. Wrestling. Of course, this all depends on if Titus is out of punishment yet, which it seemed like he was never going to, for grabbing Vince's arm during, what was it, Daniel Bryan's retirement. It seems like he's still getting punished for that, but hopefully if all that's water under the bridge, I could see this working out. And like I said, they both need a fresh breath of air, so I'm for it. Yeah. By all means, I think Apollo Crews should go in with Titus O'Neil on the Titus brand and kind of give us an idea of what the fuck the Titus brand is to begin with. Because all it's been is just talked about by Titus O'Neil up to this point. So we can actually see it in action if they go along with it. So hopefully this was seeds planted for something in the future between them two. Yep. We then move on to a backstage interview with the Hardy Boys. Very noticeable that Matt is... He's normal Matt, but he's like dropping little hints of broken gimmick here and there, like certain words and stuff he's using, and he's always still smiling, and he's got the... Jeff is still just normal Jeff.
Jeff's just like,
Yeah, but Matt's, he's wanting to. He's wanting to break into that broken gimmick so bad, but he knows he can't right now, which we'll discuss that in a little bit. But they're back there talking about, being back on Monday Night Raw, being back to WWE, and how it's awesome. They get interrupted by Sheamus and Cesaro. Starts off a little respectful, then Sheamus says, but let's face it, without the ladders, you guys are nothing. Which they're like, ladders are great, but that's what Matt and Jeff say. Ladders are great, but we don't need ladders to beat you guys. And then Cesaro kind of stops. He's like, hey, let's keep it respectful, guys. Let's keep it going. And he's like, we'll see you guys out in the ring because we have a one-on-one match between Cesaro and Jeff Hardy later on that night. Yep. I like this face versus face. Like there's been a little tension between Sheamus and Matt, but I like this respectful face versus face tag team feud that they got going on right now.
Yeah, which we can get even more into once we actually talk about the Jeff Hardy Cesaro match here in a minute too.
Yeah,
but I agree.
Yeah. Now, I mean, you can't help but think that Cesaro and Sheamus might turn face or turn heel later down the road or something. But I like where it's at right now. I say that because Sheamus has obviously shown signs of not being on the same page as Cesaro. And knowing Cesaro, he could be just like, I don't really want to say mind games or nothing, but kind of just playing the part right now until they get him right where they want him.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that works out. But for right now, I like the feud, and I like kind of this respectful thing they got going on with one another.
I agree.
So following that, you have a number one contenders fatal four-way match to determine the number one contender for the Raw Women's Champion.
Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Mickie James, and Nia Jax.
Yes. I don't think I got to watch this. I think
it was a match. It was a women's match. It was alright.
Well, fuck it. Regardless of how the match was, Alexa Bliss won, and so that's going to give us Alexa Bliss versus Bayley at Payback for the women's title, and I love that because I love Alexa Bliss. I love Bayley, and I kind of it could kind of be a question of is it too soon or not between these two. But, fuck it. We did the Superstar Shake-Up. Let's shake some things up. Yep. We failed to do that with the Intercontinental Championship, so let's do it with the Women's Championship. Put these two in a match at Payback. They'll put on a good match. I mean, I'm expecting them to. I also expect Bayley to retain, but we'll get more into that. We'll do predictions later down the road, like I said. But, two great women wrestlers going at it at Payback. So, yeah, I'm definitely on board with that. Dude, what do we got going on now?
Then something we forgot to mention earlier is that the Big Show did
I didn't miss that.
Did confront Braun Strowman at one point, and then that set up a match. And then after that part, we have a segment of them interviewing Big Show, and they're asking him why he's standing up against Strowman, and he's just like, someone has to, pretty much. So it's nothing, just a little.
Well, let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit because I did miss that talking about that segment. So yeah, you come back, and Braun Strowman's in the backstage again. This is where he's dragging Kalisto by the arm, and says something cheesy to like, trash gets taken out and just throws him in a dumpster. And like, I'm sitting there wondering, like, how long has he been dragging him around? Like, has this been going on since the Golden Truth thing? He just beat the shit out of him and drag him through the backstage. So he's just walking, after he dumps him in the dumpster, he's just walking and then gets like blindsided by Big Show into the wall. Big Show says, "Why don't you pick on somebody your own size, Braun?" And I was like, okay, cool. Let's see a Big Show Braun Strowman. They fought a few months ago and it was a pretty good match on Monday Night Raw. Let's see that again. Why not? So, and then that led into the Big Show getting interviewed, which Ian just talked about. So after that, you got Kurt Hawkins, Chad Hawkins, out there issuing another open challenge, which is answered by Finn Balor, and Finn beats him in like a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's that coup de grace done.
Yes, which is good because he what felt like should have been a quicker match last week with Finn Balor. Well, it did then. Well, anyway, what felt like should have been a quicker match last week with Finn Balor was definitely a quick match this night. Like he finally had a just squash match, and probably for the best because it's good to see him back on TV because of the concussion.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's probably why it was as short as it was. To be fair, is because they still want to be kind of careful after the concussion. Yeah, but regardless, it's good to still see him competing because if the concussion was bad enough, he wouldn't have even been on TV that night. Yeah. So he's still competing. Squash match against Kurt Hawkins. Nothing with Bray Wyatt this time around, although Bray, well, as far concerning Finn Balor anyway. But Bray did have another message for Randy Orton. Boring. It's just the same old shit. Summon to the snake or some shit?
I don't know. It's just the same old shit. Same shit, different day. I'm so ready for this Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton thing to be just done with. Because this has been a letdown. This whole feud has been completely just disappointing.
Like, it started out kind of cool whenever he was part of the family. That was neat.
It was good up until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
From WrestleMania onwards, it's been shit. Yeah. And I'm not on board. I'm bored with it. It's got to the point when Bray Wyatt shows up on the Titantron doing these little promos, I usually kind of just tune out, honestly. So I'm just like, I'm over it, and I want to see him move on to something bigger, better. Hell, I want to see both of them, which we know one of them is going to, but again, we'll get there. So, this moves on to a backstage interview with Chris Jericho. Oh, yeah, they had a little funny thing about him calling... He's getting interviewed by Mike Rome, and Chris keeps calling him Tom. They have a little back and forth about it. He's about to put Mike on the list when the Drifter just kind of walks through the shop playing his guitar. So Jericho ignores Tom, or Mike, then, and then puts Elias Sampson on the list instead. We're going to see a small Jericho-Sampson feud before Jericho goes on the road with Fozzy?
Maybe.
I mean, fuck it. Let's do it.
It's random as hell.
Let's do it. Let's give Sampson his debut match against Chris Jericho and put him over. Fuck it. Chris Jericho's going on the road. He's going to be gone for a little while. Put Sampson over. Corey Graves hates him. That'll just make more gold to listen to. So yeah, maybe a little Sampson. Sampson might make his debut at Payback against Jericho. Win it in 2.5 minutes.
2.5.
Hit him with the guitar. Go Jeff Jarrett with the guitar.
Go Jeff Jarrett on him.
Jesus Christ. No, but I would be okay. I would back that. I mean, Jericho knows what his role is. He had him getting the U.S. title this late in his career was pretty cool. So now that that's kind of said and done with, I mean, he kind of knows he's there. He might still achieve some cool stuff here before he's completely done. But for the most part, he knows that he's there to kind of put over the younger talent. So
I mean, but we still know what Jericho's doing at Payback though. Right now, he's still fighting Owens. But,
oh fuck, stupid. Okay, so we're not okay. So go home show. We're gonna see Sampson versus Jericho.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh god. Well, I forget. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm smoking today. Oh, it's 420.
Yeah.
So that's my excuse for being so scatterbrained today.
Blaze it.
Yeah. But well, that being the case, I can't see Jericho losing going into his match with Kevin Owens. Yeah. So, I don't know. You know what? Better yet, never have Sampson wrestle. Just have him just drift around.
Never. Just pay him to walk around.
Like, he's there for 10 years, and he gets swapped around from brand to brand, and every time you see him, he's just walking through the background playing his guitar.
Yeah. And
then he wrestles dark matches against whoever the champion is and goes over.
Yeah, every time. Every time.
That's how I'd book it.
Yeah. He's like an unstoppable force. You just never get to see it.
Alright, so after that, you get more Bray Wyatt. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on to a pretty exciting match for me because you have Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro in singles action. First time we've seen Jeff Hardy in a singles match in, I think, since before he left. Yeah, so in like 8 years.
Yeah.
Really good match. This was probably the last 2 matches of the night were the highlights of the show.
Yeah.
So this was a great match. Jeff went over, which I was a little surprised because for whatever reason I felt like Cesaro was going to win this match.
Yeah.
But no, he went over.
To be fair though, it's been very heavily Hardy so far in their feud, and that kind of makes me think they may not win the match at the pay-per-view. But again, we'll talk about predictions for the pay-per-view later on.
They hadn't lost yet since they've been back.
I know,
singles or otherwise.
Which I mean, is probably a good move because they're wanting them to be fire upon coming back and let them get a few wins under their belt. Absolutely. So
yeah,
but
Jeff Hardy. You know this, but he's my modern time favorite WWE superstar. He was before he left. After he went to TNA, I can't watch TNA. It's just not fun for me. Plus, he had that. Oh my God, the match against Sting at Victory Road, where he's just literally my 2 favorite wrestlers of all time finally in a match, and one of the worst matches of all time, if you can even call it a match for that matter. So, but regardless, he's still my favorite superstar of the last 10, 15 years or whatever. And seeing him back in singles action on Monday Night Raw, man, he doesn't really he's lost much of a step. He still goes at it pretty hard. He looks a little older, and you can tell he's a little bit older in the way he moves. But other than that, he's still jumping off of shit. I mean, he swanton through a ladder at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
he's still doing the same old stuff Jeff Hardy always did. And I really enjoy seeing that. I just hope it doesn't get him hurt somewhere down the road. But yeah, he's still going at it hard. Still haven't seen Matt in singles competition.
I was actually about to say, do you think we see Matt and Sheamus next week?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Why not? Sure. And we'll get to see Matt, which Matt was never as energetic as Jeff was. I mean, Matt was kind of more of a just
do the thing.
Traditional wrestling, whereas Jeff was let's jump off everything.
But Matt could slap a tornado, and he could.
Are we going to get an episode in where you don't say that?
Probably not.
For fuck's sake, that has not been his theme song in a decade.
But if he lives for the moment,
Jesus Christ. So anyway, Jeff wins. A little bit of a tense moment where Sheamus and Matt are staring off at the end of the match, but ultimately they put their differences aside and they handshake to end the match. Still, good scene. I like seeing that. We'll see how long that actually lasts. Yeah, Jeff is 39 years old and still going at it hardcore, so good for him. Good for him. So that leads into, well, actually, this is kind of a funny moment because you get a backstage thing where Mike Rome is outside the trainer's room talking about how Golden Truth is just all fucked up. And he gets interrupted by Heath Slater and Rhino. And Rhino's just sitting there eating a plate of cheese and crackers, string cheese and some crackers. And they're just yeah, we're excited to be back on Raw. They hear Braun scream in the background, and they both jump, and Rhino throws his crackers all over the place. And it's just funny seeing Rhino, big guy Rhino, he hears Braun, he's like, oh fuck, and jump up against the wall. So Braun's making his way to the ring. That leads to our main event, Braun Strowman versus The Big Show. And man, good match, honestly. I mean, it's good to see Big Show doing this. And it seems like the crowd's more accepting of Big Show nowadays than what they were, say, a year ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, good match. I mean, 2 big guys really putting on a good match. There were a couple of spots where Big Show would have Braun up on the turnbuckle like he's fixing to superplex him to the ring, and the crowd's just wanting to see it. They're doing the yes chants. They're going crazy. And both times Braun got out of it. But finally, we get to the last spot of the match where Strowman superplexes Big Show into the ring. And what do we get? It's like Lesnar, Big Show all over again. The ring just crumbles, just breaks down, ropes are falling down, the referee falls underneath the ring and gets his neck broken. No, but did you see his tumble?
Yeah, he took it pretty good.
I think he tried to lean up against the rope and didn't realize that the ropes were collapsing with everything else, and he just fell off the ring. And it kind of looked scary when you watched it live. It wasn't until you could see the angle where it actually showed him falling to the floor. Yeah. Because from watching it live, it looked like he might have actually fell up underneath that ring, and then you had the trainers run to him also to check on everything. So I was like, man, I really hope I just didn't see a guy die on live TV.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, but no, he's fine. Really awesome spot. The crowd's going crazy. And what makes it even better is obviously it's a no contest when something like that happens. But everyone's laid out in the ring, Strowman and Big Show, and Strowman manages to get back to his feet and raised his hands in like his own personal victory.
Yeah.
And what a great way to end that, because it didn't make Big Show look weak. He went he gave Braun Strowman his all. It seemed like they were pretty closely matched up during this match, and only the Superplex is what kept him down, whereas Strowman was able to get up. So I think it was still a strong showing for Big Show, but an even stronger way to put Strowman over without actually having an official winner for this match.
Especially when you consider the fact that, like, Big Show is fucking old. He's like, what, 45? Yeah.
45 years old, yes.
And, like you said, probably the best match of his career. Or, like, one of.
Yeah, I tweeted after this. I said, this is probably the best match I've seen involving the Big Show in the last 20 years.
Yeah, and, like, I think him and Strowman have good chemistry together in the ring. So, I would love to see that turn into something later on.
Yeah.
Like, as much, which is weird to say, because I've usually just been like, you know, the less I see of the Big Show, the better. But I'm okay with seeing Big Show Strowman.
I've been so anti-Big Show for the past few years that it's nice to finally see him do something exciting. Because I've been on the bandwagon that Big Show should probably just go ahead and just retire.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand he loves what he's doing, and he wants to do it as long as he can, and, you know, just more power to him for that. But it's just everything he's been a part of has been so just like boring. He's so flip-floppy. I think he's had the most face heel turns out of anybody in the history of the company.
Yeah.
And it's such a, I don't know, just clusterfuck to watch Big Show in action these days. But he's been good the past few months since he's been face.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig that. Just having him show up every once in a while like this, get a good match in with like a bigger guy like Strowman. Maybe this will actually lead to a feud, because, rumor was that this WrestleMania was going to be Big Show's last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But he got upset because of the lack of attention that he was able to get in this match. Because him and Strowman kind of had a brief face-off, and then they got eliminated by everybody else in the match. And I think he was pretty upset with everyone but Strowman because of how they didn't let the crowd milk that moment of them facing off or nothing. So, yeah, good to see him get some good matches in under his belt right before he hangs up his boots for the final time. But that was your Monday Night Raw. Overall, it was an okay show. It felt like a really long show. It was a bit of a chore to get through, but there was some good matches. Like I said, the last two matches were the highlights of the show, no doubt. Everything else up leading to that was it just further helped my theory that Raw needs to be 2 hours again.
Yeah.
And I'll keep saying that until they do something for me otherwise, but that's honestly how I felt about it for maybe the past 2 years.
I agree.
So that leads us into Tuesday night with Smackdown Live. Before the show actually gets started, they open with a photo tribute to Matthew Anoa'i. I hope I didn't pronounce that incorrectly. But otherwise known as Rosie from the WWE. He passed away recently at the age of, 47? 47, yeah. Passed away at the age of 47. Now, for those of you that don't know, his WWE career, he was he was with Umaga. I forgot what Umaga's name was back then. But they were part of the 3-Minute Warning. And then later on became the superhero sidekick to Hurricane Shane Helms. So yeah, he had a pretty decent, he won the tag team titles with Shane Helms actually. So he had a pretty decent little tag team run with WWE. He is the older brother of Roman Reigns, so he's a part of that legendary Which
makes me wonder if that's why they did what they did last week with Roman Reigns with the injury thing, was to give him some time off to be with his brother.
Well, what? I still don't know, why did he die?
I actually just had it pulled up.
Because I thought it was like something kind of sudden.
No, he was diagnosed with it in January from our meeting. Yeah, he was hospitalized due to congestive heart failure in January. No, wait, that's in 2014. Okay, never mind. No, it just says he died 10 days after his 47th birthday. I don't know if it was sudden or not. If he was in the hospital, maybe that's why they did what they did with Roman. I don't know.
I actually thought it was just kind of I don't want to say lucky because his brother died, but I just thought it was
maybe convenient
coincidence that he got this time off a week before his brother passed away. So whatever the case, it did give Roman a chance to be with his family, and our deepest condolences to Roman and his family and everyone involved that was close to Rosie. Because I'm sure I couldn't imagine. So,
47's too young.
Yep. So, and being a part of the family and it's crazy because, Umaga died a few years ago.
Yeah.
So now both members of 3-Minute Warning are gone. and they were just on TV. Like Umaga was on TV more recently than Rosie was, but still, like in the last 10 years or 15 years or whatever. So, yeah. So our deepest condolences to everyone around Rosie there. So that then leads us into actual SmackDown Live, where we open with Charlotte, who states that she's been on the show for 7 days, and she cannot understand why she's not been given a title shot. Now, your opinion. Should Charlotte have a title shot, yay or nay? Just opening Raw. Or not Raw, SmackDown.
Yeah.
When she came on to SmackDown on Tuesday night, should she have had a title shot already awarded to her?
I don't see why not.
I don't either. Fuck her. She's the queen. She's arguably the most decorated. I might have to go back and look at this because her and Sasha played hot potato for a little while. But as far as I know, I think she's the most decorated champion since the brand split.
Yeah.
So why not? Fuck it. Maybe she has a case.
Yeah, I think she does.
She says she don't understand why Shane and Daniel haven't given her a title shot yet. So what she got to do? That brings out our women's champion Naomi, who basically says, "You want a title shot? You got one. Let's do this right now." They throw down a little bit with Naomi kind of getting the upper hand for the most part. Shane comes out and says, "Look, Charlotte, we'll put you in a one-on-one match with Naomi tonight. If you can beat her, then you'll get a championship match next week." So that's kind of where I have a problem. Like, why not take this opportunity to put her against somebody else who's worthy of being number one contender, like a Becky Lynch or somebody, instead of saying, if you can beat the champion,
you can fight the champion.
We'll let you fight the champion for the title. I mean, that should be the title match, is if she's fighting the champion.
I agree.
So that's silly to me, but it's not the first time we've seen them do this.
The biggest thing, though, that I noticed about this whole thing, though, was when Shane came out and he's like, people don't just get to choose what they want in SmackDown. You got to fight for, you got to earn earn everything. Well, this whole past, lead up to WrestleMania, you just had John Cena walking around, like, I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna fight her.
I'm sure somewhere in the fine print, Cena's excluded from everything because he's John Cena.
Because he's John by God Cena.
Pretty much, yes. So they set up that match between Naomi and Charlotte. That leads us to a backstage segment where Natalya approaches Shane in his office and doesn't understand why Charlotte gets to walk up and become number one contender. Why can't Natalya? Why is she number one contender? And then she gets interrupted by Carmella and Tamina, and they're kind of going back and forth about why they should be number one contenders. And then finally, Natalya's like, you know what? Evidently, Shane. I can't remember what she says, but I think Shane's busy. Whatever. Let's us three go talk about this. Might be the start of a new women's faction or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
might be kind of cool. We'll see how that plays out. That leads us into our six-pack challenge for the number one contendership for the WWE Championship between Sami Zayn, Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler, Eric Rowan, Mojo Rawley, and Jinder Mahal.
Okay. Before we even get into this, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that I actually have a somewhat different opinion about this than I've seen anyone else have. So...
Well, you say that might mean that we have a similar opinion, but we might not. I don't know. Because we haven't talked about this yet.
No, we have not.
Personally or off camera or nothing.
We haven't talked about this at all. So, a decent little six-way match.
Well, first of all, let's talk about this. What a fucking weird collection of people.
Okay, yeah, that is a good point. Like, let's talk about that for a second. You got, like, AJ Styles and all them competing for the United States Championship.
Yeah, just last week, you had a triple threat between AJ,
Baron Corbin, and Sami Zayn. Which is, like, three of the biggest people they have right now, and that's great. Right. But they're going that was for the U.S.
Yes.
So they're kind of doing that thing right now that they did last year for a little while in Raw, where, to me, the U.S. Championship means a little bit more.
It's almost like they're confirming that the U.S. title is the top title on SmackDown right now. Because it was
the main event tonight. Well, it wasn't a title match, but...
Right, but the main event tonight involved the U.S. title in some degree. So
now you have all these people in this six-pack challenge for the number one contendership for the WWE Championship, which, first off, what's their big deal with six-pack challenges here lately?
I don't know. They're fun, though.
I mean, they're alright. Like, I like them, but I'd like them to be more, like, sporadic. Literally, each show to, hey, we're gonna have another six-pack challenge, I think
SmackDown's like, we only got 2 hours. Why make a tournament? We can just throw everybody in one
just
ring.
Fight each other at once. But, anyways, though, so, yeah, this is a really random, Like, Sami Zayn makes sense.
Yeah, Luke Harper makes sense because he should have been in the triple. It should have been a triple threat at WrestleMania between him, Bray, and Randy.
I agree. Dolph Ziggler, okay, it's decent. Yeah.
Okay, he's a former two-time champion. Had a stint with the Intercontinental Championship last. Oh, actually, when they brand split, he had a title shot against Dean Ambrose and lost at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So Dolph makes a little bit of sense because he's been there more recently. The next three,
hang on. Eric Rowan doesn't make any sense. I will give you that. That's stupid. I don't understand why he was in it. Mojo Rawley makes sense.
Okay, why? Because he won the Battle Royal?
I'm telling you, they're going to start pushing him hard, and it's going to come.
But look at the previous Battle Royal, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal champions. They didn't get even a chance at the title.
Again, but I hear what you're saying, but they're kind of making the WWE Championship not as important right now. Okay. So, you see what I'm saying?
True. So, and Mojo's cool.
I like Mojo. He's
getting a bit of a push, a little bit of momentum. So I can go with Mojo over these last three that we were talking about.
Then you get Jinder Mahal,
who is the biggest what the fuck in this entire ultimate jobber we've called him on the past in this show. Just thrown into a possible number one contendership match. So I understand you got AJ and Baron Corbin doing their own thing, but where's Baron Corbin? AJ's already won a title shot against the US title. I mean, Dolph Ziggler. All these people are in. Well, some of these people are already in storylines. Dolph Ziggler's in a storyline with Shinsuke, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan's kind of got their thing going on with the Wyatt family and all that sort of stuff. So where's Baron Corbin? Hell, I would ask where's Shinsuke or where's Todd Dillinger if it wasn't for the fact that they've been on the show for 2 weeks. So going by like pedigree or whatever, yeah, these guys have been there longer. They've probably earned it a little bit more.
Yeah,
but it almost, to me, Cena, I understand he's gone because of a movie, but Cena's still on SmackDown Live, and he deserves to be in this title, this match over any of these guys from just a,
I agree,
resume standpoint or whatever. So it's just it's like they just drew 6 names out of a hat and said, you guys go out there and whoever gets the pin gets to fight for the title
gets
Backlash.
Yeah,
good match, though.
Yeah, it was a pretty good little 6-person match.
Some pretty good spots.
Then you get to the end.
Get to the winner. My biggest what the fuck moment of the night.
Probably of the year.
Yeah, so far this year, yes, definitely.
Like, what in the hell? But again, I have opinions on it. We'll talk about it in a second. But, the Ultimate Jobber, Jinder Mahal, with the help of the Bollywood Boys.
Who made their debut.
Yeah.
So they're on SmackDown, which is good, because SmackDown needs help in the tag team division, even after the shakeup.
But, with the help of the Bollywood Boys, gets a pinfall victory over Sami Zayn. And is the #1 contender for the WWE Championship.
Okay, before we go into any more about this, I wish he would have got the pinfall over somebody other than Sami.
That's my biggest problem with it.
Okay.
Is who he got the pin over. If it could have been Dolph Ziggler or Eric Rowan, that would have been fine.
Anybody else in the match.
But Sami doesn't need it. He didn't need that loss, that ban.
He's so hot and cold with his momentum as it is.
Yeah.
That he doesn't need to take a pinfall loss to
Jinder Mahal.
To Jinder Mahal.
But so regardless of
that, the Bollywood Boys.
But regardless of that, our #1 contender for the WWE Championship right now is Jinder Mahal.
Can I give you my opinion before you start?
Go ahead.
Okay. When this happened, I even tweeted about this immediately after it happened. I was like, what the fuck? Because he's honestly, like I said, probably the last person I would have pegged in this entire match to win this thing. The more I've thought about it since then, hell, this is just going into the next day. The more I thought about it since then, I am A-okay with this. Because, well, first of all, this more or less confirms, well, like we didn't already know, but this helps confirm that Randy Orton's going to retain at Payback.
Yeah.
Because Jinder is pure heel. Did you hear that heel he got that night when he won?
Yeah.
And then
that promo
he cut? Man, okay, if I can compare that promo, in terms of just a heel promo, to me it was very reminiscent of, old, I almost said 80s style wrestling. It reminded me, if I can compare it, of when Hogan joined the NWO, and he's sitting in the middle of the ring, and Gene Okerlund's interviewing him. He's like, "Yeah, you get all suck it and fuck off and all that stuff."
Yeah,
that's basically what Jinder's doing. He's getting booed out of the building. He's getting serious heat. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna boo me?" Kind of like in a Scott Hall voice. Yeah. You're gonna boo me because I'm not the stereotypical American athlete, blah, whatever. He cut a great heel promo after this.
I kind of disagree with you about. Like, it was a good heel promo, but it's very reminiscent. I can't even remember the dude's name now. The guy, he was about 10 years ago.
Muhammad Hassan.
Yeah. It's very reminiscent to Muhammad Hassan's heel run, and that was handled poorly.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought about that too. The level they've took it to with Jinder Mahal, if they keep it at that level and don't go any further, I'm okay with it. If he gets to the point where he's like, I'm going to win this belt and then bomb your buildings, that's when it's going to be like, okay, you've went a little too far.
Yeah.
So, keep it out of Muhammad Hassan levels of heel. Keep it right where it's at, because he had a Talking Smack interview. I don't know if you saw that. The interview he had on Talking Smack, he was still heel, but it seemed like a kind of a genuine interview, because Shane's asking him, like, what's it feel like to be the number one contender? And Jinder's like, it feels great. It feels like I deserve it. I work harder than anybody. I'm bigger than everybody else. I'm faster than everybody else. I deserve this title match. And Shane asks him, he's like, well, are you concerned about Randy Orton? He's like, why would I be concerned about Randy Orton? Like I said, I'm bigger, faster, stronger than Randy Orton. He should be afraid of me. I see fear in his eyes. I feel confident. I'm going to take this title off of him.
Yeah.
He had a good interview.
Yeah.
He didn't say, after I win the title, I'm going to go bomb some buildings.
Yeah.
Ali Akbar or whatever. He kept it civil, and he's playing a good heel right now.
My biggest thing about this whole thing is we're not going to get this match between him and Randy Orton for a little while, because we got
until Backlash.
Until Backlash, at least. So we've got a while to wait between then and now, and it's going to be Jinder Mahal and Mojo Rawley going against each other for most of that time.
Well, I can see that.
And
you think Mojo will take the title match, or better yet, it becomes a triple threat?
I think it's possible.
I want Mojo, me personally, I want Mojo to kind of wait it out a little bit longer and get his shot after Jinder.
Yeah.
Because I really want to see this Jinder Mahal Randy Orton. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. I don't know why, because Jinder's ultimate jobber, but he's a fantastic heel. He is pure super heel.
He's just a bad dude, and that's good.
Dude, this guy is jacked. You compare him to when he was in the WWE the first time. He is twice, if not three times, the size he was back then. He looks like he's on steroids. Like that, everyone's criticizing him for being on steroids, but he said himself that he's been tested about 6 times and passed every one of them. That all it is that he works harder than anybody else in the company. He's on a very strict diet.
Yeah.
And so until proven otherwise, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say, man, this guy's worked his ass off. Give him a title. He's not going to win it. He's not going to win a title. But, give him a title match.
My biggest thing, though, is that he's literally, he's the ultimate jobber, like we've said. And, literally for the past month, he's just been losing to Mojo Rawley. So...
Losing to everybody. Lost to
I know, but,
last week.
But it's been a reoccurring thing with Mojo, And it's weird for him just to suddenly get a, 6-pack challenge win in a match that Mojo's in, and then not get any consequences from that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think we're gonna see some Jinder Mojo.
Some Jinder Mojo.
But that's their new tag team.
Oh God.
It's
better than 3-man band.
Yeah.
3MB.
But no, I think we're gonna get some Jinder versus Mojo up until Randy. Until the match with Randy. I'm not sure if Mojo takes it from him, if it becomes a triple threat, or if Mojo's next in line after Jinder. But I'm pretty hyped, regardless, because
pun intended.
Pun intended. I'm getting pretty hyped for the hype, bro. Like I like Mojo a lot.
I do too. I was rooting for him to win that match because it would have been cool to see him. But here's the problem: is that Randy, regardless of his actions over the past couple of months, he's a face. Yeah. He's been considered face, and I think Jinder's the perfect hated heel to kind of help Randy get some of that face, pure face, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just to be
exposure, maybe.
I guess to look more like a pure face, because up until now, what he burned down a man's house.
Yeah,
arson
with
considered a face move among WWE.
like burning corpses, pretty much.
Burning corpses, just doing some heel moves to be a face. So he could have this match with Jinder. as a pure face. Jinder's this hated. I mean, at this point, the crowd's probably going to root for Randy against because they hate Jinder, and that's perfect. That's why he's heel. Raw, I understand Raw is doing some weird, like, twinish things with Roman Reigns, but they almost could take notes. This is how you have a genuine, true heel who is hated by the crowd for all the right reasons. Whereas Roman Reigns is like face that the crowd just hates, and it's just weird. So Raw could almost take notes from this if they ever decide to go that direction with Roman Reigns, but we'll see. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about this. Again, I'll make this prediction early. Jinder's not going to win this title. If he wins it, I'll be honest. Hell, I'll be okay if he wins it, because if he wins the title and then Mojo takes it off him,
I was about to say that. I was about to say the same thing.
Or Shinsuke, somebody like that takes it off Jinder. Jinder has a chance. Has the possibility of being a great heel champion that everybody just hates.
Yeah, like, I could see that being a good thing, like, going into, like, the next SmackDown pay-per-view after Backlash, is it being, like, champion Jinder Mahal could be like, you know, you may have won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, but I won the championship, so then you have a match between the champion and the Battle Royale winner, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have two different kind of, like, titans clashing almost. And Mojo will be face, obviously. And going against Hill. I like it. I like the idea of Jinder beating Randy and then losing it to Mojo.
Well, you know, another thing I like about this is how Shane keeps saying that SmackDown is a limited opportunity. And that's exactly what it's been, because you go on Raw, you've got the same people just week in, week out, kind of getting just swapped around for that title picture. Whereas SmackDown seems like they're actually giving these mid-card talents a proper shot at things.
Absolutely. That's kind of,
this is a huge push for Jinder Mahal.
Kind of obvious with the fact that like AJ was more interested in the United States Championship. You know, like AJ should. There's no reason why AJ shouldn't be in the championship, the WWE Championship picture. Right. But that's just kind of the way they got it going right now. You know. So same thing with, you know, I know Nakamura's just got there, but you know he's gonna be in it eventually too. You know?
I still wish. And maybe we will, because there's still a year to go. But, I mean, you know, the plan is it's Lesnar and Reigns at WrestleMania. Man, I still wish they would take the Shinsuke versus Brock Lesnar route.
People want to see it.
I want to see it real bad. Because we've only seen it once before, and that was like in 2006 in New Japan. And that was before Shinsuke was... Well, I mean, Shinsuke had quite a bit of success at that point, but it wasn't the same Shinsuke Nakamura that we got now. Yeah. Whereas Brock Lesnar has always just been like the beast incarnate. You know, of course, he doesn't wrestle as technically as he used to, but he's always just been like this unstoppable force. So I would love to see Shinsuke take down the giant that is Brock Lesnar. Give me that over Roman Reigns taking down Brock Lesnar any day of the week. I don't care. For all of eternity. But, you know, maybe one day, maybe next year, because obviously it's not going to be this year, based off what we've heard. But yeah, Jinder Mahal with the help of the Bollywood Boys. Here's your number one contender. Bollywood Boys debut on SmackDown. Maybe a little faction there between them. Bollywood Boys being led by Jinder Mahal. Just like we said, stay away from the terrorist angle, and I'm good with it.
Like I'm okay with the I'm not your typical American athlete thing. Like I'm okay with that. That's that you can keep that. Maybe not push that super hard, but just kind of have it like a thing. Not to mention, isn't Jinder Mahal not even American? Isn't he Canadian? Like he's
I don't know what he is.
I'm pretty sure he's from Canada.
I don't think he's like Middle Eastern or whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's from Canada. But regardless, yeah. So like, I'm okay with it. Just just don't push it too far.
Exactly. So after that, we have a little bit of a backstage interview between Renee Young and AJ Styles. Gets interrupted by Baron Corbin. They challenge each other to a match that gets set up for later in the night. You get your first taste of this possible faction between Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina, as Charlotte's making her way to the ring for her match against Naomi. She gets confronted by the three other women. Natalya's just there. She says kind of sarcastically, she's like, we're just here to welcome you to SmackDown and tell you that we're happy to have you on the show. And Charlotte's just kind of like, I'm Charlotte, I don't need you guys to tell me you're happy for me. And she just kind of walks off. I think she bumps shoulders to Tamina or something on her way through. That was that. Or maybe it was Natty. I don't know. But that leads into our match between Charlotte and Naomi. It was a good match, but because of Charlotte. Because Naomi is our champion, but she's not as good in the ring as Charlotte is. And Charlotte did a good job of carrying this match and making Naomi look pretty good.
Yeah.
That being said, Charlotte went over, and she is your new number 1 contender for the title. Which the title match is next week. That's weird.
Yeah, that's strange.
I actually don't see Charlotte. I feel like Naomi will retain, but hey, as many times as Charlotte won or lost the title on Raw last year, it wouldn't surprise me if she got it next week.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I think kind of going back when we get back from the commercial, you see Charlotte meet up with the 3 of them again, and she just lets out a woo as she walks off. Yeah. I think we probably see them get involved next week and
probably DQ or something.
Yeah,
some shenanigans. I mean, they'll probably just prolong this until Backlash when they can have a proper title match. So after that, you have American Alpha versus the Shining Stars. But wait! They're not being announced as the Shining Stars anymore. They're now the Colognes. So it looks like they went back to their original name or whatever. And they have a match against American Alpha, who is our previous tag team champions as of just a couple months ago. And the Colognes win in like 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, like
have a quick squash
match.
Little
squash match for the Shooting Stars. That's...
The Colognes. They're not the Shooting Stars anymore. They're not passing out brochures telling you to go to Jamaica or where the fuck ever no more. They're just out there whipping ass, apparently.
Yeah, apparently they just
taking
got
names.
Yeah.
So
we are getting to my favorite part of the night.
Are we?
Yes, we are.
By the way, no Shinsuke Nakamura on this night. He had a bit of a video package. Him and Ty Dillinger both, which Ty was actually there to introduce his video package. But neither one of them participated in the match. Are we ever going to see Shinsuke Nakamura have a SmackDown Live match? This is the 3rd week since he's debuted and he has yet to wrestle. Of course, I understand. I think I didn't watch NXT, but if I'm not mistaken, I think him and Ty both had a match last night in NXT to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, I think it was.
So he was probably on his way back to Orlando. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, neither one of them actually participated in a match that night. So next up, we have our Face of America Open Challenge.
This is my favorite part of the night.
For the WWE United States Championship, Kevin Owens versus Gary fucking Gandy.
Gary Gandy making his
debut on SmackDown Live. Holy shit. He is there, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Gandy is on the card. He is on the roster. He has signed a contract. Confirmed here on the n.W.bro Wrestling Podcast. Gary Gandy is now a full-time WWE superstar on the road. Will be facing Kevin Owens for the United States Championship on main event next week. On 205 Live.
I don't know where you're getting this information.
Okay, no. Gary Gandy is local talent that was just there for Kevin Owens to squash. But go ahead.
But I really like that he's just like... Kevin Owens has the mic. He's like, because I'm Kevin Owens. Yeah, who are you?
The reason this is even happening is because the announcer is trying to announce him, and Kevin takes the mic and says, I can do your job better than you can. So Kevin announces himself, like you said, very slowly, Kevin Owens.
And he's just like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Gary Gandy.
Kevin Owens starts to walk off, and Gary takes the mic back from him and says, from Louisville, Kentucky, which that's where they're at that night, and that gets a big pop. I don't know if that was planned. Do you think that was planned? Obviously, the whole, him saying his name part was. But him taking the mic back and saying from Louisville, you think he just did to get a cheap pop while he was there in the spotlight?
I don't know. Maybe. But then he got destroyed.
Oh, my God. Annihilated in 60 seconds. Pop-up powerbomb, done.
But Mr. Gary Gandy, everyone.
Yes. Can't wait to see more from him. Which we won't. But, hey, yeah, it was fun. I mean, it worked for James Ellsworth. Never know. Might see Gary Gandy on SmackDown Live next week.
Damn.
In the after Backlash, he'll be in the 6-pack challenge for the WWE Championship.
Like we said, SmackDown is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, give Gary Gandy a challenge. I mean, he got a pop. Crowd loved him.
Yeah. As long as he just says he's from the town that they're in each week.
And that could be his gimmick. Every week he's like, this is my hometown of Quebec, Canada.
I'm Gary Gandy. From Toronto.
Next week I'm from Cleveland. So anyway, Owens crushes him, says that he'll set the announce table for the next match, which is our main event between AJ Styles and Baron Corbin. There's nothing no stakes in this match, nothing on the table. It's just a match between these two guys because Baron's argument was that he should have won last week's match. So they're into a little bit of a match. I gotta give Baron Corbin some props. He's coming a long way.
Yeah,
he's a good wrestler now. His matches. He's actually kind of just fun to watch in general. I I got a little bit of a kick out of his promo earlier than that, or his interview, backstage segment earlier than that with AJ. Playing off this badass lone wolf character. Puts on a good match. Of course, AJ can make anybody look pretty good for the most part. But, I mean, Baron's holding his own. Good match. At one point, towards the end of the match, there's a spot where, like we said, Kevin Owens at the announce table. And, is it AJ throws Corbin into... No, I'm getting this.
I'm trying to remember. It was,
Yeah, it was... Styles was supposed to put him in the Styles Clash. I think Corbin did that flip, reversal. Threw him into Kevin Owens. This is funny to me because, like, you're a champion, and you get hit with, like, a flying... Obviously, okay, so you don't expect to get... You'll see it coming, but AJ Styles hits Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens goes down. He spends the rest of the match, like, holding his title, set, like, one knee on the ground, just...
Yeah, I was about to bring that up as well. Like, it never fails. If you are on guest commentary and you are involved with one of the people in the match, if you get, like, a hit or something, you are just pissed off for the rest of the day.
But you're still too, like, exhausted to get up and do anything about it. So, whereas if you're in a match, you're going to kick out of, like, 2 finishers at least and then go on the rest of the match. But interesting end to this match because there's the outside scuffle like we talked about. And AJ and Corbin are both outside, and Corbin's down and out for the count, and AJ manages to get inside the ring just as the ref hits 10. Yeah. So AJ actually wins via count out. Good ending because it keeps Baron Corbin looking strong.
Yeah, no pin.
No pin, and he's going to have a title on his waist before this year's over with, I promise you. Probably Intercontinental if I was to guess, US, I'm sorry. But, yeah, Corbin's going to have a title of some sort before this year's done. So, good match between them. And that's how our show ends, with AJ taking the win, Corbin down and out, and Owens just seething outside the ring.
Yeah.
Looking like he's fixing to get up and whoop ass, but never happened. So, yeah, I would give SmackDown the nod this particular week over the best show, because, like I said, Raw had a couple of good moments, but it was mostly in the last, like, half hour of the show. Yeah. Of a 3-hour program. Whereas SmackDown, from start to finish, was pretty entertaining. Fucking right before the first hour ended, really got everybody like confused when Jinder Mahal won the number 1 contendership, and it did a good job of building this upcoming match for the U.S. title with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, or Jericho, but Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
So that was your Raw and SmackDown for this week. Any other news coming out of WWE this week, Ian?
Well, other than apparently the WWE is going to be putting down some money to TNA.
Yes, they're finally taking that route
to get the Broken Hardys rights for sure. Which is exciting because that means we're probably going to be seeing the Broken Hardys fairly soon.
Yep.
But like legit Broken Hardys, not this whole like cock tease of the Broken Hardys that we've been getting. But the only issue I have with it is, like, one of the biggest reasons why Matt and Jeff even left TNA in the first place was their argument about, like, what they could do with the broken gimmick and everything. And if WWE owns it, they don't necessarily get a say. So
that's true.
So that's going to be weird. But I'm just hoping WWE. I know they've made some mistakes before, but I'm just hoping the WWE can do the broken gimmick correctly, or hell, just put something in it where it says that the Hardys can still kind of have like creative say in it.
Yeah, like they can own the right to it, but let Matt go crazy.
Have a run with it. Yeah. So that's exciting. Excited to see Broken Matt. I'm excited to see him delete the competition.
I had a bit of a thought about this because since they've been back, as we mentioned, they've been mostly normal Matt and Jeff. So how would they go about introducing the broken gimmick just all of a sudden? And my thought was, again, you have to kind of leave it up to Matt and let him kind of handle this without letting... I would trust him over this before I trust WWE. But I could see Matt taking the, for some reason, Matt and Jeff acting normal was part of Broken Matt's, like, plan for something, and then he reveals that he's been broken this whole time, but just playing the part. You have to execute it perfectly, and you have to have a reason to make that happen. But I could see that being a good... Instead of them just showing up one week and they're broken, I'd rather them kind of work into it like that. And I feel like, me personally, that's the best scenario I've come up with.
My scenario that I've thought about, because I've had the same thought, is they lose to Cesaro and Sheamus at Payback. And literally the next night on Raw, we hear the segment of them next to a lake. And they're just like, the lake of reincarnation.
We're not as powerful as we once were.
Yeah, we need to be reborn by fate, what the new shirts say.
Yeah, which is kind of a kind of a play on their broken gimmick, the whole like rebirth by fate thing.
So that's the way I could see it going. Is they lose it to Cesaro and Sheamus, and that makes them go broken.
Yeah, you could go like I said, you could go that way, or again, like I think my idea, like for some reason, again you have to find a good reason to make this the case, but I could see them just playing the part of normal Matt and Jeff until they get somebody right where they want them. Of course, they've already got the tag titles, so I don't know what they would do, but you know, like WWE's got to give Matt and Jeff creative freedom here. If they buy back these gimmicks, they got to be like, all right, guys, we got these gimmicks back.
But this is your brain baby. Like, make it happen.
Make it happen. Kind of let us know beforehand what you're going to do with it, but make it happen. It's up to you guys. And just go crazy.
The biggest thing I'm wondering about is, like, we don't know the details exactly about, like, what they're buying and everything. We know, I can't remember their names, but the rest of the Broken family, like, the old dude.
Oh, like Rebby's, what's his wife's name? Was it Rebby Scott?
I think so.
Rebby Hardy now?
Yeah. Rebby Hardy.
The dad that
yeah. None of them are going to be involved.
No.
But, like, are we going to see the drone?
King Matt, what's his kid's name?
Maximus.
Yeah. Maxwell, maybe.
Maxwell. I don't remember. Something. Max something. Well, I don't think any of them will be involved. We might see the drone. That'd be cool.
That'd be neat. Vanguard
1.
Yeah.
But, we might see the Vanguard. But, I'm just wondering exactly what.
I don't think they'll take it to like TNA levels of just fucked up.
I think they should. I absolutely fucking think they should.
Why not?
I think they should just make it worse. Like, I think it should be worse than what it was in TNA.
What they could revisit was because when they were in TNA, they did do this like open tag team challenge, tag team Apocalyptica or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Where they invited any tag team from any promotion to come participate, and you had a couple of people kind of that used to be part of WWE or whatever. I think the Dudley Boys might have been there. You know, stuff like that. They showed up. But now that you're in WWE, you could do that again and actually have WWE tag teams participate.
Yeah.
Like even like Raw and SmackDown tag teams both.
Yeah.
So they could revisit that. But yeah, all this is just, we'll have to wait and see. This is just a kind of a strong rumor.
It's not even happened yet.
Yeah.
Like it's just the word on the street right now is that they are putting down money for it. So, which honestly is surprising to me. I didn't think TNA would do it. I didn't think TNA would be like, I don't care how much you pay us, you're not getting it. You know, I thought TNA would be kind of petty about it. But
maybe it helps that Jeff Jarrett's in charge again.
Maybe.
Of course, you know, he's got a very bad relationship with WWE, so that probably has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I was like,
if anything, he's probably the one being stubborn about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see.
I guess it's true what to say. You know, everyone's got a price, and money is money. So.
Truth.
And if anyone's got it, it's the WWE.
And if anyone needs it, it's Impact.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Other than that, no other news other than the passing of Rosie. And again, you know, Divas or Divas sympathy and whatnot about all that. So other than that, that pretty much wraps up this week in WWE. Anything to add in our closing words here, Ian?
No, I don't think so. Just stay golden, honey boy.
Yeah, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on our YouTube. Right now, I can't give you the YouTube address because until you get a certain amount of views, it's like a really long, fucked up address.
But just
you can't do a personal.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, no. Go to tinyurl.com/n.w.bro podcast. I think whatever the tinyurl link URL is. Followed by n.w.bro podcast. I did do that. I'll start to kind of help shorten it up.
Okay.
Other than that, we're also on Twitter. You can follow us at n.w.bro podcast. Send us questions or whatnot on Twitter or to our email at nwbropodcast@gmail.com. If we get enough of them, we will do a Q&A.
Same thing on Facebook. You can go find us on Facebook with under NWO podcast, NW.bro.
You fuck me up. n.w.bro podcast.
Yeah,
it would be an episode if we didn't fuck up somewhere here.
Absolutely. And it was me fucking up at the end this time.
Yeah.
But anyways, go there and you can like us there, and you can also post on there about questions and comments, stuff like that, and we'll try to address them.
Reach out to us. We'll definitely do a Q&A once we get enough questions. We'll be more happy to interact with you guys, and of course, any feedback or comments or anything like that you want to hit us up with, we're always accepting any kind of critique. So that's going to wrap us up for this week, and until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Adios.